Now, where were we? I guess, that's right. Faunalyn was having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And then it kept going. After sulking in the rain for some time, Faunalyn was dragged into Madame Fauvelmont's dress shop so that she might look her best for the upcoming ball at House Prailme. A deal was struck in which our hero's rump would travel to the nearby island of Avox and procure a shipment of silk in exchange for a dress for Faunalyn, as well as a pair of servants' uniforms for Clay and Glimki. With the deal struck, Madame Fauvelmont set to work, and our heroes spent the remainder of the day under her watchful gaze as she began the early stages of Faunalyn's dress. After finishing for the day, our heroes decided that they wanted more information about recent events in the city, and they traveled to the office of one of Clay's associates, Fuzam Biston, a gnomish doctor with wild hair and even wilder medical practices. Clay helped him remove a banana from a patient's eye, and afterwards, Fuzam provided some much-needed insights, chief of which was the revelation that the two men who had tried to murder Faunalyn were Welf Tooley and Munderek Shord, known associates of one Clay Campbell. From there, our heroes returned to the sewers for a meeting with the Eyes of Aerdenine. Unfortunately, they got lost along the way, and Glimki nearly had his body melted by a gelatinous cube. As his friends helped him, Glimki found himself in a vast mountainous landscape, where he encountered a crow with a beak the size of a mountain. Glimki asked the crow for direction and was instructed to jump upon its back. As he soared above the mountains, Glimki watched in horror as the feathers of the crow began to dissolve around him, and he began to plummet towards the ground below, only to be caught at the last minute by an immense tree with ash-gray leaves. When Glimki awoke from this vision, one of the leaves in his hair had turned gray. Our heroes continued on and eventually found the hideout of the Eyes of Aerdenine. As the party debated what information they wanted to request, Brutus began to propose a deal.
What's the deal?
Yes, I know. I already said all that. Oh, wait. Are you asking what comes next?
Yes.
Well then, let me tell you. On with the story.
Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup. Three lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup.
It's super time. Welcome back to Planet Bard Soup. We see here 3 majestic creatures gathered in a steaming, piping hot bowl of Bard Soup. Oh, what's that? Is it a Prima? Prima, who are you and who do you play?
Hi, I'm Alien number 1, Prima, and I play Clay Campbell.
Ah, aliens, yes, that is what we were going for with this BBC-style intro. Oh, what's that? Floating by on a carrot? Why, is that Jordan?
Yep, it's Alien number 2, Jordan, who plays Glimki Treefellow. Oh my god, I stumbled on my own name.
The Jordan often stumbles on its own name when it is nervous and feeling flustered by such a handsome dungeon master. And we are joined by, what's this? A recently blonde woman, Shannon.
I don't get to be an alien. I don't get to float by on any produce. I am just recently blonde.
And she's on a piece of celery.
Thank you. I play Faunalyn Vaydark, and for the record, I've been blonde since birth, except a brief interlude when there was so much blood in my hair that they thought I was a redhead.
And I'm your charming dungeon master, Richard Attenborough. Just kidding, it's me, Zach Meikle. And welcome back to Bard Soup. We're back, baby, chapter 11. Hey,
Hey.
let's dive in. I forgot how to do an intro, and I never really knew.
I think that was one of your best, actually. That was objectively funny.
Thank you.
No one laughed, but on the inside, we all were.
Oh, if no one laughed, then you know it was funny.
It's too funny to laugh at.
We rejoin our heroes 3, our rump trio, our rumpuses, in the sewers of Erdenine with their unwilling hosts, the Eyes of Erdenine, led by the white were-rat Brutus. He is sitting there on a pile of refuse wrapped in a cloak, and as you have been debating exactly what you want from him and his people, he has stood up and begun to propose a trade. Word on the street is there's a ball at House Prailme in a couple days. And he's looking right at you, Faunalyn, while he says this. By any chance would you be attending said ball?
Yes. Yes, I will be. And my retinue will be with me as well.
Perfect. You may not know this, but the Prailmes live in a mansion surrounded by woods over in the Ruby District. More importantly, those woods hold several owlbears that have a certain penchant for me and my kin. It's a lot of ground to cover without getting mauled to death. So, my offer is such. You bring one of my associates with you to this ball, smuggled in a pocket or a petticoat, and I'll offer up some information in exchange.
Sorry, you want yourself and your colleagues to crawl up my skirt and cling to my legs while I shuffle my way into the ball.
More or less, yes.
You promise to keep your eyes closed the whole time.
Yes.
Insight check. Insight check for rat perversion. That's 17.
He seems like a real gentleman, but as genuine as he seems, Jimmy Gnawbones speaks up and says, I mean, I can't promise I won't take one peek, but hey, I'm just a guy.
Can we add a provision to the deal that Jimmy Gnawbones be blinded?
Permanently or just blindfolded? We could probably arrange either.
Ooh, permanently then.
Aw, come on, boss. You love these peepers. And he looks in with these beady little eyes. You're right.
You don't need eyes to keep a bed warm, Jimmy.
I only want to send one rat in. And given you've got a working relationship, we may as well make it Jimmy. But if that is agreeable to you, then we're in business.
Fine, and he may have one peek.
Ha ha! That's what I'm talking about. Jimmy Gnawbones, I'm from New York.
And I love vagina!
We've all seen Jimmy's whole naked body, though, so I guess it's fair.
Man, I'm glad you said whole naked body.
I thought you were going to stop at whole also, to be honest.
I mean, fair is fair.
Fair is fair. A hole for a hole. An eye for an eye, a hole for a hole. Why are we talking about this? Okay, we will shuffle Jimmy into the Prailme estate. Jimmy, what are you going to do there?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe I look around, get some hot goss of my own, a little piping hot blackmail. Balls are great places. People talk at balls. People do things at balls that they would prefer most people don't know about, you know?
Yeah. Okay, excellent. I have no further questions. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to, molest somebody, and then we'd be culpable. But this is very reasonable. Moving on. So that's our end of the bargain. Now we need several bits of information from you. We're going to begin with hot goss, because that seems to be your purview, and then we're going to transition into contact information. So, number 1, House Prailme. What can you tell me about Bip and Bap?
All right. Lord Bickford Prailme and Lady Bakra Prailme. I'll tell you this. The Prailmes have the highest turnover of staff of any noble family in Erdenine. People, say they've got very high standards, and if they're not met, they'll let you go real quick. Second thing you should know, the Prailmes have always been a successful family. But after the death of the current lord's mother, their rise has been meteoric. The meteors rise either way. They've become one of the more powerful families in the city over the last 10 years or so. If you're looking at Bip and Bap, respectively, they play the role of airhead noble well enough, but there's a certain ruthlessness and depravity there that lies not too far beneath the surface. Lady Bakra Prelmi had a lengthy tea with a woman named Orsa Todara, minor noble living in the city. Miss Todara was rumored to be involved with Bakra's brother, and since that tea, she has not been spotted since. As for Bickford, he, or at least someone who bears a certain striking resemblance to him, was spotted in the Copper District not too long ago, purchasing a not insignificant quantity of black leaf.
A drug, I assume.
Yeah, give me like a medicine or a nature or a history roll.
Can I have advantage because Faunalyn's a freak?
No.
Can I roll and have advantage? Because I'm a doctor in training.
Sure, I'll allow it. Jordan, why do you want to roll with advantage?
I don't.
Oh, humble.
I got a 15 medicine.
Fantastic.
6.
Faunalyn, you keep your nose clean.
Minus all the cocaine.
But sure enough, Clay, you recognize Blackleaf as a pretty powerful narcotic, and it is something that you've helped more than one person who has been in the midst of an overdose, who has been dragged into Fuzam's practice and helped deliver a antidote.
Nice. Do I know what the signs of someone who's using black leaf look like?
Yeah, I'd say with a 15, you know that if they are like actively have used it, there is a certain lethargy that kind of overtakes their body, a certain looseness. A more telltale sign is a black smear around the gum line.
Ew. Okay.
Okay, interesting. So, for example, this black leaf, recreational, I assume, but also perhaps used to drug a princess?
Speculation, but
Yes, we're speculating. I was speculating.
potentially.
Statement.
Conjunction.
Yes, we know our grammar. So Bip and Bap, they're nasty freaks in the unfun variety. Orsa Todara, surely you all have means of finding her. Are you just disinterested?
We're not Erdenin's finest. We're not in the business of searching for missing persons.
Well, just missing person is the hottest goss.
Sure. And if a body turns up, then we know who to talk to about making sure this last tea doesn't become widespread information.
Right.
You do understand we're not good guys, right? You seem to think that we're like altruistic. No, we're depraved rat men who live in the sewers and blackmail people for a living.
No, I wouldn't have sex with any other kind of rat man. I've got to stop running this bit.
Jimmy Gnawbone he licks his lips and like twirls his whiskers.
Jimmy, for the last time, you're homosexual. Stop.
Maybe I'm somewhere in between. Who can say?
I can't. You're gay. What was I saying? Oh, no, I wasn't expecting you to be altruistic. I was literally thinking like, oh, this could be an interesting source of goss. There's a missing woman. But clearly I'm more ambitious than you are. Now, on to my next subject. What can you tell me about Kazarin and Amala Berthold?
As I'm sure you know, the Lady Berthold is quite the fan of her wine. She was at the opera a couple nights ago and fell asleep during the performance after enjoying several such wines.
Not interesting.
Sorry, they can't all be winners.
I live with her. I drink wine with her at breakfast.
Okay, she murdered a man in 1987. What do you want me to say? She drinks a lot. She's a notorious gossip. She doesn't really have much else going on these days.
And Kazarin.
He's a regular attendee of a weekly card game with several of Erdenin's rich and powerful. And word is he's down thousands of gold pieces.
Okay, money problems. I knew that too. Nothing else? No secret bastards, anything like that?
Can't say that I've heard anything, but if you got information to sell, I'd be interested.
I think I know more about them than you do, actually.
I mean, in our defense, they're transplants. They're here for the summer. Don't stick around for the colder seasons.
No, it's understandable. Okay, third, and a curveball. I'm so clever for asking this. What can you tell me about Lady Faunalyn Vaydark?
I don't think Faunalyn wants to know the current rumors about her.
Well, a few things.
Glimki and Clay, cover your ears.
Huh?
Sorry, did Glimki and Clay cover their ears?
Yeah,
Sure, whatever you'd like.
I guess.
Okay, thank you. Brutus, you were saying.
It is, in a very short period of time, you've been here, what, 2 weeks? Maybe 3? The rumors about your sexual proclivities have abounded.
Oh, God.
Half the city thinks that you are in a ongoing relationship with, and he points at Glimki and Clay. Others think you have a proclivity for rat men, which, if you want to stick around, like, we can make that one true, but,
Oh, shut up forever.
alright, well,
That's the boss. Can't blame a guy for trying.
No, I've just decided, Brutus, you're also homosexual. You're both homosexual, so don't... You're homosexual and you're dating each other, and that's an order. Brutus, you were saying.
well, there's that, and, someone doesn't like you very much.
No shit, but like narrow it down for me. That you've just engaged like 1,400 people.
I rolled a 16 on perception, by the way, so... Definitely eavesdropping.
Nice. Yeah. Very good.
He's not from around here. Nobleman, late 50s.
Last name starting with a P.
Don't know his name. He's not from around here.
Zach, would a Lord Hamlet Pilton be not from around here and in his 50s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Honestly, that doesn't narrow it down at all. I have no idea who you are speaking about. I know so many men in their 50s. My father's a very important man with many colleagues. Regardless, what can you tell me about a rumor started by Lady Crowin?
As far as I know, nothing. If we're speaking of starting rumors, I don't believe Lady Crowin started anything. She may have repeated something she heard, but
Okay, and what rumor was that?
something to the effect of you not being a true noble.
That's such bullshit.
You being it's some language I'd rather not repeat in polite company.
Repeat
but
the language!
I'd sooner not, frankly. You seem to get mad when we get too crude, so we're being mindful of noble company.
Did someone call me a clunge? What happened?
Something to that effect.
Oh.
Sorry, I wasn't listening, but what was that last word definition?
You know, you really, you know it when you see it.
Okay, back to not listening.
Thank you, Glimki.
Now, I think that's a few hundred gold pieces worth of information that you've received, so I reckon we're nearing a fair trade.
Okay, firstly, you told me literally nothing of use about myself or about Gazrin and Amala, so...
We don't make the news, we just report it.
Okay, I guess I'm a better reporter than you are. Last question, and this is about the contact information we were requesting. You all deal in hot goss, so I'm not necessarily expecting you to have the information about criminal doings that we're looking for, but I'm very much curious about how I could speak to someone who would know about, like, the criminal underbelly, the men who do bad things, you know, who's the crime boss? I want to talk to the gang lords.
All things considered, and this is going to sound self-aggrandizing, but we're one of the bigger fish in this city. It's pretty well policed. If you want crime lords, go to Sunfall.
So if I wanted to hire a man to kidnap a princess, who would I speak to? You?
No, we don't kidnap.
Exactly. So who would I speak to? So we're one of the bigger fish in this city. You live in the sewer. That does not sound self-aggrandizing at all. One of the bigger fish? That's like me saying, I'm kind of a noble.
I'm confused. Would you rather me be less confident or more?
You're just contradicting yourself. I don't want to be self-aggrandizing, but I'm a human being. You know?
You're an elf.
It's got you there.
You are good at what you do. Thing gets by, Brutus. Now, crime lords.
There aren't crime lords, that's what I'm telling you. There's some middle-level players that do all right for themselves.
Okay, crime middle management, please.
Riggs Tremblay.
Oh!
But word on the street is he's not looking so good these days.
He was ripped in half. I was there, kind of. Okay, so Riggs, and this is really it. Like, it's not so organized. If I wanted to kidnap a princess, I'd have to hire random hooligans.
More or less. I mean, if it didn't come from within, you might look outwards.
Oh, like Sunfall, where there's crime lords.
Potentially.
My god, this plot is thicker than a stew. But I know a lady. Glimki and Clay, you can listen again. I know a lady from Sunfall, and she's a stone-cold bitch. But she's here for no reason, and she hates me. And now we find out that if we want organized crime, we've got to go to Sunfall.
Is she going to the ball?
Yes, she rubbed it in my face.
Well, maybe we should go rub something in her face.
Jimmy Gnawbones puts his hand up and says, I volunteer as tribute!
Jimmy, you need so much HR training.
Put it away.
Put it away. Save it for your boyfriend.
If we're bringing Jimmy Gnawbones with us to obviously get his own info, is he like an extension of our team? Can we use him a little bit?
Define use.
It's a walking set of ears.
Sure. I leave that up to the four of you to figure out.
Okay.
I don't have any more questions, Clay and Glimki. Have either of you?
I don't know. We've run out our quota. How many more questions we got?
I'll throw in one more as a sign of good faith. And Jimmy better come back in one piece.
Of course.
Okay. I don't know. Do we have one more question? What would be our one more question?
What could have taken out Riggs and his whole crew?
Oh, good question.
I don't know if this is who you're looking for, but the night that Riggs and his crew got bumped, one of my people saw a real big son of a bitch walking around the Copper District. Tried to follow them, but they rounded a corner and disappeared.
Was it a human or a humanoid or an owlbear?
Humanoid. They had some sort of big helmet on and big cloak. Made it hard to make out any real features.
I have a question. The League of Ichor, do we remember any helmeted, cloaked giant guy?
No, there was a dwarf with dragon scales. There was a elf who was surrounded by swirling clouds. There was a man with a steel-tipped tentacle kind of poking out from his cloak. And there was Brassface, the goblin, who was a goblin with brass skin.
Brassface.
He's my personal favorite member of the League.
Next question is the prince who saved me. Prince Elling Malfirth. Does he wear a helmet and a cape? I believe he does.
You have not seen him wear a helmet. You've seen him wear like a fancy-looking cloak.
And he is big, if I remember.
He's like, yeah, he's not like a giant, but he's at least 6 feet tall and decently built.
Okay, that's interesting to me because I met the prince like when we did session 0, and some of his only descriptors that were given to me was that he's big and wears a cloak. So that's just an interesting. And he was just around. He was around on the Drifting Terrace. Holy cannoli! This man, he killed them for me. So what happened was I jumped off the Drifting Terraces. I'm like running with a broken rib, and I run into this guy, and he's like, "What's up, ma'am?" And yes, Jordan.
Are you gonna tell us as Faunalyn, or are you?
I guess I'm telling you as you right now. Okay, yeah, you know what? I should tell you as Faunalyn. Okay, this is very interesting because I met the prince the night of my attempted murder, and he was big and he wore a cloak, and I've always wondered why he was there. And the crazy thing is that he actually killed Welf and Moonderek. he killed them, and I assumed that he was sort of avenging me. But what if it was like a multi-purpose kind of thing? He runs into me, and I pointed him right at them. He was like, "What's the problem, ma'am? What's the problem, ma'am?" And I was like, these two criminals just tried to murder me in the terraces, and I think I literally pointed him in the direction, and he went and he ran them through, and we know that he ran them through because when we were with Clay's freaky doctor friend, he confirmed that they had been killed by a big-ass sword, which is what the prince was carrying. Holy God! Okay, let's look back in our mind banks. Do we think that what was done to Riggs and Una could have been done by a guy with a big-ass sword?
I mean, those people were essentially just viscera.
Riggs was ripped in half, and Patrick had like a hole, like
All the way from his head down into his body.
Right.
Could that have been done by a giant sword? I thought it was like a blunter object.
I don't know. Maybe there's something there. But why would the prince track down the rest of them?
I don't know, but I do know that there were rumors that the prince had come here to court the princess, and there's some purported link there to do with their marriage. So, whoa, this is freaky, right? He was there the night, and he killed Moonderrick and Welf.
And Clay, were Moonderrick and Welf part of the heist that you were on?
No, they were supposed to be, but then they got hired for something else, and that's why I was hired.
Oh my goodness.
So they would have known about the job. They knew about the job. Clay, I am so worried about your prospects.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Holy shit.
Is there anything else that you can tell us about the man with the helmet?
As it was shared to me, he quite literally walked around a corner. And when my operative walked around the same corner, they were gone. I don't know how much time you've spent in the Copper District, but the streets are soft. And the trail ended.
Do you know anything else, Faunalyn, about the prince and his background?
I know almost nothing except that he was in town to wed the Princess Callista. Okay, Jimmy Gnawbones and Brutus, quid pro quo, I'll give you a nugget of information. You tell me what you know about the prince.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay, I am not rolling hot tonight. That is a 12.
All right. And then I'm going to have to ask you to kindly vacate my sewers.
Fair enough. 2 minutes ago you were propositioning me rat sex, and now you're kicking me out, but okay.
Well, you said no, so I don't think we have further business.
He's respecting
I
your
see.
boundaries.
Okay, I think okay, fair enough.
That's a very kind way of putting that.
Yeah, if he can't sleep with me, he doesn't want to be around me, I understand. Rat man indeed.
You were saying?
Anyone in particular you're interested in? I know like 4 people, so there's pretty good odds that you'll ask about someone I know.
I'd love to know about you.
About me? Okay, well, I'm not having sex with any rats.
I figured. I'm going to need something a little more interesting than that.
Okay, my family owns half of Uleth Orthiad. The Vaydarks are very powerful. They have political prisoners, but I've never met any of them. I am on a trip staying with Lady Kazrin and Amala. My real hair color is not gray. I have a scar the shape of a fishhook on my knee because one time I jumped through a window. Separate from the time I jumped through a window and didn't die on the drifting terraces.
And how is it you came to know the Lord and Lady Berthold?
I was introduced by a mutual friend.
Their holdings aren't all that close to your homeland.
Well, no, I'm on a trip. I was introduced by a mutual friend.
Give me a persuasion roll to, not to convince him of anything you've said, but to convince him that you've given enough.
13. And if that's not enough, I can tell you I don't much enjoy reading unless it's violent literature. Not one for the news. I do like smoking, but only when someone else does it for me. And I think I'm a little bit allergic to ceviche. Anything else?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
As for the visiting prince, he arrived in the city a little, well, I suppose it's getting closer to 2 weeks ago now. It's, as you were saying, no real secret that he wishes to wed the princess. Truthfully, we don't have much information on him. He is extremely cautious. Far more so than the average noble in this city who already are aware of us and what we do and often take precautions to avoid our listening ears. As for the marriage prospects, it would seem that the king is amenable to this alliance, this union, because it would strengthen relations between Erdenine and Onos. However, there are those at the captain's table who believe such a union has the potential to greatly damage relations between Erdenine and Sunfall.
He said the trigger word. It's all coming together.
You're gonna have to catch me up, Faunalyn. All these city names are starting to blend together.
Catch her up in the tunnels, why don't you?
No, I don't need now.
Yeah, we need to regroup.
Jimmy will present himself at the mansion. 2 days' time. Try not to forget him, right?
How could you forget Jimmy Nobbins?
That's right. Don't forget me, or I'll make your life a living hell.
You can try.
Yes, I think you're good at doing that to people.
All right, this got cold all of a sudden. I was kind of just joking around, but yeesh. All right.
2 days' time. Thank you for stopping by, and please don't come back.
Why?
No
Why not
promises.
come back?
What the heck? I
Yeah,
thought we had a
what
good
the
thing
heck?
going.
Yeah, me too. It's so weirdly hostile.
This isn't a community center. This isn't a drop-in,
We literally paid you.
and you were paid in return.
I know, so if we wanted... You're saying you're not open to future dealings?
Hey, buddy, Brutus, this is a transactional relationship. I don't know what kind of thing you're expecting.
What
I'm
the hell?
expecting my usual course of business, which is not information trading, it is blackmail.
Okay.
Okay. It will only come back when we have some really juicy stuff. Oh, wait, no,
Yes.
told us to never come back. Ah, damn, missing out. We should go.
Okay, bye!
See you soon.
By the way, Glimki, how are you doing? Are you feeling less rattled?
No, I'm severely concussed, I think.
Oh. Okay, on we go. Oh, do you want Clay to carry you? They will.
No, that's all good. That's fine.
Clay, give him a scoop. Yeah, give him a scoop, Clay. Look, he's wobbly.
Yeah, I offer my back.
Alright. Don't twist my arm about it. It's got acid burns on it. Alright, up we go.
Clay, you hoist Glimki up onto your shoulders and start to traverse the tunnels, the sewers of Erdenine once more. Could I get another group survival check? It'll be a lower DC because you managed to find your way here. You just have to go in reverse, but...
9.
Ooh, survival, huh? I rolled a nat 1.
Oh, lordy. We're gonna fight another ooze.
I got a 13.
Okay. So, as you traverse the tunnels, you had a difficult time making it to the Eyes of Erdenine. You got turned around, you got melted a little bit. It's getting pretty late. It was already evening by the time you decided to come down into the sewers, and you take one turn too many, and you're walking down a tunnel, and in the distance you hear a rumbling noise, and a sudden surge of water comes pouring around the corner and just washes over the three of you.
What?
I need
Oh no.
everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ah!
What's the water taste like?
Hold on to me! Just kidding, I got a 9.
I got a 20. I'm at 4.
I got a 10.
Glimki, you fail the save, but you are fortified by this divine connection that you carry within you, and you watch as this water pours over you, and you spit it out, and you feel fine. Clay, you manage to cover your mouth and turn your head away. I'll say you and Glimki turn in unison because he's on your shoulders. You turn away, neither of you takes in a mouthful of water. Faunalyn,
Oh no.
your makeup is just running down your face. You are drenched. This dress, if it wasn't ruined,
Snuggie.
You are wearing a Snuggie, thank God, because the dress would be in tatters. I will say, the wig, not looking great.
Actually, Clay was holding the wig. If you listen back, if you roll back the
All
tapes,
right,
I specified that when I entered the sewer, I took off my wig and headed to Clay. Let's fucking go, boy!
You're still diseased.
So let's try that one again. This wave of water rushes over you. Clay and Glimki, you turn in unison because Glimki is on Clay's shoulders. You manage to avoid getting this water in your mouths. Faunalyn, you get a full mouthful. I stand by the fact that your makeup is running, your Snuggie is drenched, and that's all for now, folks.
I had pink eye last 2 episodes. I had a little bit of pink eye. I just have pink everything now, huh?
Sure.
Yeah, more or less.
Excellent.
So, Faunalyn, you trudge your way a little while longer, and eventually you find the ladder that leads back out into the city, into the gold district, if I recall. You look up, and it's cloudy still, but the rain has stopped. You are a wet mess. The other two, you're also like soaking wet. You just didn't ingest any sewer water. Are you trying to do anything else tonight, or are you headed home?
We should probably.
Go rest.
Yeah, because we gotta wait for our clothes to be finished. Or was they finished last time or not?
They are not finished, and it is the expectation that you will spend the majority of the next 2 days at Madame Fauvelmont's to ensure they are finished on time.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we're crashing in Clay's, right?
Yeah.
I have to go home.
Or we could go
probably.
back to Faunalyn's place.
No, let's just crash here. You know, the menage a trois rumors are already full swing. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, we're closer, right?
All right. So you return to Madame Fauvelmont's. The lights are off. She is left for the night. But Clay, you have a key, obviously, so you let yourselves in and venture up into the loft. There is only a single bed, and it is a single bed. Barely big enough to fit Clay, let alone these other two vagabonds. So
I flop on the bed.
yeah, I figured.
Glimki drops his giant knapsack and pulls out like a collapsible cot and tries to squeeze it into a corner.
Sure.
You can use this. You can use this, Clay, if you'd like.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I would sleep on the floor. It's okay.
It's about half the length of you.
Yeah.
Glimki, you are concussed, so I'll give you a pillow.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. Glimki should not sleep. Should we take shifts and slap him in the face if he starts to doze?
Why do you think he's concussed? He got burned bad. At what point did he hit his head?
I just assumed I hit my head because I was seeing funny things.
Yeah, he's traumatized.
Sorry, were you seeing funny things, Glimki?
No. Where did you hear that? Good night.
Good night.
Should I do a medicine check on Glimki?
You can try.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's received some divine healing, and as such, the burns on his arm have more or less entirely healed. You think nothing that a good night's rest won't take care of for the rest. You think if there's any issues going on with Glimki Treefellow, they reside firmly within his mind.
Okay. All right. Looks like you don't have a concussion, so.
Sounds like you're mentally ill.
Okay? Ow?
Aren't we all? Okay, good night.
So you curl up in your respective parts of the loft. Clay, where did you wind up tucking
On
in?
the floor.
Okay. You grab a few scraps of fabric, pull one over you to make a blanket, and the three of you nod off. You have a restful sleep. Clay and Glimki, you awaken in the morning feeling perfectly well rested. Faunalyn, you awaken with terrible stomach cramps and just a feeling of like wool that has been stuffed into your head. Your mind feels foggy and cloudy. Your body is just stiff and sore. And you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, no.
And you currently regain only half the normal number of hit points from spending hit dice.
Oh, God.
And you gain no hit points from finishing a long rest.
Ouch.
Mamma mia.
You have sewer plague.
Oh!
Gross.
Gross!
Oh,
Okay.
Probably have those rat relations.
Oh, the rat sex. It's all the rat sex I've been having. Clay!
yeah. Oh, Faunalyn. Oh, you don't look so good.
Clay, my tummy hurts.
Medicine check on Faunalyn.
Give me a medicine check.
I got a 12.
Yeah, you are pretty sure this is a case of sewer plague. It
Oh,
is
Faunalyn.
a disease that starts with cramps and fatigue and often ends there, but in some rare cases has the potential to kill the people that come down with it.
Oh god.
What's the treatment for sewer plague?
Rest,
Is that it? No other treatment?
rest.
Okay.
Uh,
Colin, you need to take it easy today, I think.
mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Clay!
That's awesome.
Clay, I threw up.
Oh, you're gonna be okay. Just take it easy.
What's wrong with me?
I think that the sewer, you have sewer plague.
The sewer plague? Did you say plague?
Yeah.
To put it delicately, you got a little poopy in your mouth hole.
I got so much poopy in my mouth holes. It went all down my mouth hole.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're gonna make a little nest here. We're gonna go check on the dress and our costumes. Just try to sleep it off.
Okay.
Yeah, here's a bucket if you need.
Thank you. Clay,
Mm-hmm.
will you smoke a cigarette for me?
Here, I'll light one and I'll wave it around the room.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It makes me feel better.
I'd stick it into an ashtray, like a incense.
Amazing. The smell of tobacco slowly fills the room, which is great for all the fabric that Madame Faunalyn uses. But that's fine.
Every brand has to have a scent.
Of course, yes. Our brand is Ashtray.
I crack a window.
Clay and Glimki, you venture downstairs, leaving Faunalyn to rest. And you see that Madame Faunalyn has actually gotten in early. She is bustling about, pulling off different scraps of fabric. She is flipping through books and looking at different designs and prints. And she turns at the sound of you descending from the loft and says, "Ah, Clay, you and your companion are here. Where is your employer? We must get to work right away if we are to be finished in time."
Lady Faunalyn's not feeling well. You know, she was under the weather yesterday. Maybe we can work on the servant costumes first, and then when Faunalyn's feeling a bit better.
Yeah, let's change gears to our stuff.
Are you sure she cannot make it? Hers is the most, dare I say, pressing. But no, that is fine. You all right? We need to spend time on your outfits. So we shall work on you, and we will pick her up tomorrow when she feels better, perhaps. But tomorrow is make or break. We'll have to work on it throughout the day to make sure it is ready in time.
Yeah, we'll check on her throughout the day, see if she's feeling up to it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if anyone can make the deadline, I'm sure you got it. You look like you
Mm-hmm.
got it in you.
She's a dwarf. She is a dwarf wearing 8-inch heels, and she kind of looks down at you and smiles warmly. "You are right. Let us begin." And what follows is a classic Madame Faunalyn sewing montage. She takes you, Clay, and puts you up on this little pedestal and starts taking measurements and starts pulling out swaths of fabric. And as per usual, these scissors that seem to be enchanted to some level start flying around and snipping. And there's a tape measure that is kind of wrapped around your neck and your ankles and your wrists and takes every measurement twice. And she just mutters to herself throughout. She says, this is, what can I say? Perfection. And just keeps going. At one point, the door opens and Sten Dexter says, "Hello, ma'am. We've got a shipment of fabric for you." And she says, "This is not the time!" And the scissors come flying across the room and embed themselves in the doorframe inches from Sten's head. He says, "All right, no problem. I'll be back tomorrow." And he backs out the way he came. I'm going to say that takes up the entire morning, Clay, as she is whipping around in this Looney Tunes dust cloud, putting together this outfit.
Oh my gosh, wait. That's going to take all morning.
Hmm.
Can Glimki sneak away to like a, what would it be, like a herbologist?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I would say if you mention that to Clay before you go, then Clay, you do know that Fuzam does have some remedies, some reagents, famously. Otherwise, Glimki, you are welcome to just scour the streets and see what you can find.
Yeah, sure. On the way out, I'll ask for some advice.
Yeah. Is there anything Usam would have for Faunalyn as well? Like anything Glimki can pick up along the way?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, as far as you know, the best remedy is rest, but he might have some crack cocaine or something to help out. He's a real old-timey doctor, you know. That's what they had, opium and crack cocaine.
That would help Faunalyn, yes.
Black leaf.
Hey.
This is a great time to take advantage of your employer. Be like, here's medicine. Get her hooked on the old black leaf.
So where am I going? To that place or just another?
Up to you.
Is he a herbologist or? All right, let's start there.
We're so obsessed with labels.
No, let's start with that.
Titles.
Let's start with that.
Okay. You spend some time walking around. If I recall, and I do recall, Madame Fauvamons is in the Silver District. I think I've maybe mislabeled that a couple times over the course of this show, but that's okay.
I might have messed it up a few times.
Hey, we're all mess ups at the end of the day. This is a found family show, I would say. And Glimki, you head off, and it was raining last night. It was late, but you eventually find your way back to this little side alley, and you see that there is this little scrap of cloth, white cloth, sticking up out of the door corner. The corner of the door is maybe a nicer way to phrase that. And you go in, and it is quiet inside, and you can barely hear the faint sound of snoring from somewhere up ahead.
Oh, give me a lay of the land. Snoring is coming from which way? Which way is all this stuff?
You, I will say, you were here yesterday. There is kind of this long hallway. There's like this door, and then that leads to this long hallway. And branching off from the hallway to the left, there is this room where the surgery took place. There was some stuff in there, but it seemed more like bandages, thread, that sort of thing. Right. You didn't see anything of too much value. You hear the sound of the snoring. It comes from further up down the hall. You see that there is two more doors. One that goes like straight at the end of the hallway ends in a door, and then there is another door on the left, a little further up, that is open.
He's not that sneaky because of his armor, so I don't think it'd be worth it. Like, I'll just be caught red-handed. You know, like he's just gonna, ring the doorbell or the door chime thing, or
sure,
or knock.
Yeah. You walk in and kind of just pound the wall, and a second later you hear, "Hey, who's there?"
It's Clay's friend.
Clay Campbell, my best assistant.
Yep, that's the one.
And this doctor comes out from the open doorway further up, and he is in the same clothes as last night. His hair is just a mess. He is holding a whiskey bottle in one hand, and he's kind of rubbing his temple with the other. And he says, "I'm talking real chipper for a guy who's got a hangover like a real son of a gun, but what can I do you for? You don't look like you're bleeding out, so you sure you really need my services?"
I'm feeling a lot better today, actually, but one of my friends is not. I was curious if you had anything to help with sewer plague.
All right. Sewer plague, you say? Yeah, that's a tricky one, because, it's rather innocuous until it isn't. You wake up one day, you feel a little sore, you feel a little stiff, and 6 days later, you're dead. So,
okay, well, we can't have that. So if there's anything to help with that, that would be really helpful.
All right. Well, I could whip you up a poultice of sorts, make a little topical. You rub it on her forehead. Stinks like a real son of a gun, but you'll give her a better chance.
To be honest, I don't know if you could smell me from here, but we all smell kind of awful already. So I think whatever topical cream you slap on will be okay.
I fried my nose years ago. Turns out that inhaling acid without any sort of PPE can be pretty damaging on one's old schnoz. So why don't you sit tight and I'll bring you something. How much money you got?
How much money do you need?
Shrewd businessman. 2 gold pieces.
God dang it. Okay. If I make it 3, can I ask you for something else?
I mean, I'm not going to just get carte blanche, like 1 gold piece and you get my studio or something. Like, I'm open to more money for more product if that's the generality that we're working with.
Okay, I was just looking for a little discretion. I've never bought drugs before. Do you have something called black leaf?
You a knock?
A what?
You a knock?
I don't know what that is.
Are you a knock?
No, I don't think so.
I might have some.
Okay. How much would it take someone who's like an avid user of this to get really messed up?
Avid user, say?
Probably have some sort of tolerance, you know?
Yeah, I'd say if you want to be on the safe side, maybe 8 gold worth.
Maybe this will be worth it. give me the... Oh, wait. So 2 plus 8?
Yeah, that's simple economics.
Damn. Okay. Man, no wonder royals do this. Okay. Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
All right.
Maybe a cool plot point later.
You never know.
10 gold pieces.
You hand him 10 gold, and he says, you sit tight. And he comes back about 20 minutes later with this small jar, and he holds it up. It's clear glass, and you can see just this brown... It almost looks like mud. It's like this paste inside. And he says, all right, so don't get these mixed up. This is for the sewer plague. And this other one, and he holds up a pretty small baggie. Like, it's this little felt baggie, and you pop it open, and it is not a lot of stuff is in there. He says, that'll be enough to knock out any avid blackleaf enjoyer. So here you go, and here you go. Like I said, don't mess up the 2. And anything else you want to appendectomy? I'll throw that one in for free.
No, I think I'm still using mine.
That's the thing. None of us are using ours, and they're using us.
I think I'll be
a virus. They are a parasite.
Okay, well, thank you.
Don't come crying to me when that thing takes over your brain and eats all your brains.
Now I'm kind of freaked out.
He
How
gestures
much
over to the
money do I
operating
get
table.
back?
I'll throw in the poultice for free. 2 gold back for 1 appendectomy.
That's it? That's a whole part of my body.
Yeah. So is that toe, but you don't need all 10 of them.
That's got to be at least 5.
4.
How much are you marking up?
Hey, no markup here. Fuzan Biston is a honorable businessman. If you aren't honorable in this town, they'll probably be okay with it. They just won't give you your business. It's not a terrible place.
Suzanne, I really don't want to be rude, but if you are as good as a businessman that you are a doctor, we have some problems, because no markup sounds like
at cost. Everything's at cost.
Terrible idea.
All right.
I'll think about it. About it.
Don't think too hard. That thing will kill you before too long.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne.
All right, you take care. And tell Clay Campbell that hope they're doing well.
She's doing pretty good.
Good. It's only been 12 hours, but I miss him.
Okay, well, bye.
All right, ta-ta. And you return to the dress shop. Are you going up to administer medicine?
Yes, the beigeish muddy cream.
Okay.
In the jar, not to mix them up.
Right, yeah, the black leaf in the bag. Got it. You walk up the stairs, and Faunalyn, you are lying there. You've kind of got the chills, and you see Glimki walking towards you with a glass jar.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel like you know?
Yeah, I felt like that.
Do you feel like that?
Not now, I feel good now.
Oh.
But I felt like that. But I got you some medicine.
Ooh.
Apparently it smells like really bad. You gotta put it on your head, and it'll help you recover. So just lay back and let the doctor do his work.
This is so nice. You almost died yesterday, and you come back so nice.
Well, you guys saved me, so gotta return the favor.
But you save us sometimes too, like when we were fighting the dragon and you tried to stand between me and the dragon. That was nice.
Maybe we're all just nice.
I'm so nice, and people don't realize it, but I'm so nice.
Yes, you're very nice.
Yeah.
Let's put this nice cream on your face.
Give me the ooze. Put it on.
Faunalyn, what is your least favorite smell?
cigarettes. She just punishes herself when she feels bad.
I will say it's an off-brand cigarette. It's like poor person cigarette because Faunalyn can smell the difference.
Yeah, this smells like the cheapest ashtray in the world. It is just foul. And as Glimki holds out this paste towards you, it is truly disgusting as he begins to smear it on this thick, thick layer. And because of this medicine, I will say you can repeat the saving throw.
Constitution saving throw?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's going to be an 11.
An 11 is what you needed.
My God.
Oh my God.
And Faunalyn, your face stinks and it kind of burns a little bit. But I'll say over the next couple of hours, this beigeish cream starts to darken. It starts to become almost black. Let's try that again so we don't get Faunalyn and blackface allegations. It becomes a muddy, ruddy red-brown as the toxins are pulled out of your body. And I'd say by like mid-afternoon, you feel 100%.
I'm going to bound down the stairs with the crud still on my face.
Wait. Faunalyn, before you go, you're looking a lot better, but hold the phone.
Oh, I was actually just going to go looking for you because I wanted to say the poopy came out of my mouthy.
That's good. Shh. For the sake of being transparent, which I think is a new thing that we're learning. I bought drugs.
Sorry, what?
I bought drugs.
Oh, shit. Okay, cough up. Let's go.
But no. It's like I was eavesdropping on the conversation. I couldn't remember which parts I was supposed to listen to and which parts I was not supposed to listen to. When you were talking about Bip and Bat, I heard that they were abusers of a certain narcotic. Narcotic. Nice. He's ahead of his time.
The word makes sense. Carry on.
Certain narcotic called blackleaf.
Yes.
And Glimki produces the bag.
Oh, shit. Nice. Score.
So, I don't know how this is going to come into play later, and I don't know if Clay's a narc. She's not. She's a criminal. But maybe we can use this for something. If we run into the depraved in that. I can't remember which one it was that was the abuser of this.
It was Bip.
Okay, well, then maybe if we run into him, he could be persuaded.
Hell yeah. Okay. What if we get him high and then get him to tell us all our secrets? Is that unethical?
At this point, it's all gray.
It's all gray. That's right. Okay, and we won't kill him because I know that you're not comfortable with that. But we might get him high on drugs and then ask him important questions.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. I like that plan.
Apparently there's a lot in here, so be careful. I know it looks tiny, but it's what I've heard.
Do we want to sample just a little bit?
No, absolutely not. I stuff it back in my pocket. Don't be ridiculous. We have dresses to make. I walked down the stairs.
Ah, well.
Amazing. I'll say as you come down with Faunalyn, Madame Fauvemont goes snip, 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 and looks at you, Clay, and says, Magnifique. You are the perfect servant.
Oh my gosh, I feel fabulous.
It's the perfect servant. You look spectacular.
We'll save the description for the grand reveal, but she turns to you, Glimki, and says, hold that thought. Lady Vaydark, have you been here the whole time?
No, I was upstairs having the plague. But Glimki fixed me.
That is quite the foundation you have chosen for today, might I say.
Oh, this is sewer plague. Stay away. Woo! It's gonna get you.
The scissors float in between you and her, pointed directly at you.
Ooh, don't stab. Yes, Clay, Glimki saved my life. So Glimki might be like second best friend now. Sorry.
You're looking much better, Faunalyn. Or you look like you're feeling better?
I'm feeling so great. There's so much crud on my face, and I can tell that the crud is so tremendously vile. But it's not inside of me, it's outside of me, and that's what's important.
Yeah, you got to see it's working.
Medicine is a wonder.
Is it not?
Sure is.
We love medicine.
We love medicine and we love science.
Indeed. My two passions.
Yes. Oh, you're a woman of medicine and science, Madame Pauvemont.
Indeed I am.
Women in STEM, let's go.
Women in STEM.
It's my life mission to cure the unwell-dressed, the poorly dressed.
Oh,
Perhaps it's a
wow.
better way to say that.
Yes.
My medicine is thread and scissor.
The unwell dress. That's
My fabrics are bandages. Yes.
Yes, and your thread is like sutures.
Yes. More analogy for me, please. I eat it up.
Okay, your subjects are like the patients that you revive. They were fashioned dead and you make them fashion alive.
My dyes are like potions or something. We'll keep working on it. And she gestures at you, Glimki, and you spend the next couple hours bandying back and forth different analogies and having just a great time, frankly, as she starts to put together Glimki's servant uniform.
make sure I have pants because princesses wear pants.
Yes.
Well, I will point out you are not a servant, or not a princess, or you are a servant. You are not a princess, you are a servant, but servants also wear pants.
Servants wear
So-
dresses.
It is fortunate for you, sir. Faunalyn and Clay, is there anything you wish to do while Glimki is on the operating table, so to speak?
What is there? No?
Glimki went and bought drugs, so, anything's game, really.
I'm just hanging out.
All right.
Yeah, I think me too.
So we will fast forward to the end of the day. Madame Fauvemont, around 6 o'clock or so, says, "All right, that is enough for today. The servants are done." And she gestures at you, Faunalyn, and says, "Lady Vaydark, we will have to start early tomorrow, and it will be a last-minute sort of job, but we shall get it. I'll need you, if we start early, I'll need you until midday, and then you can go make your other preparations, and I will deliver the outfits to the Berthold Manor at the appointed time."
You know, Madame Fauvemont, you are very good at what you do. When I tell people that I'm wearing a Fauvemont and that you do excellent work, I won't just be saying that.
Of course. Thank you, though. That is very kind of you to say. And you know what? I think you will do this dress proud. I'm quite excited for you to see it.
Yes, well, I'm very beautiful, so that makes sense.
Indeed. Are you spending another night at the dress shop, or are you going back home after not telling your employers where you were going for the better part of 2 days? Or your host?
I guess I'll go home.
Also your employers, I guess.
I think the DM is laying subtle hints that I should go home.
The DM just thinks it's funny that you stay with them and you just disappear for days at a time.
I'm going home. Who's coming with me?
I guess I should check on the azaleas.
Yeah, you should. You really should.
You really should. Yeah.
Clay's on the clock 24/7.
Yeah, that's true. Clay never gets a day off.
Clay's been on the job.
Walk, carriage. What's the vibe?
Are there like carriages for hire around?
Yeah, you can get a cab.
Okay, I'll spring for a cab. What's it gonna run me?
Oh, we'll say you're in the silver district. We'll say 4 silver.
Cool. I will pay for it.
Wow, generous after Glimki gave you life-saving medicine.
I'm broke.
Yeah, I bet. Clay is secretly rich, which I love for you. You hail down a carriage, and it is driven by a portly woman with braided auburn hair, and she guides you through the streets, up through the silver district into the gold district. It's late afternoon. It's like around 5 o'clock again. You kind of spent all day at Madame Fauvemont's. You see that people who are operating their own businesses are kind of going home for the night. Various stalls and shops have been shut down. Sun is poking out. It's a partially cloudy day, but there's a decent amount of sunshine coming through. And you make your way past the Ocean Crest Falls, just this cascading waterfall. It's extremely loud until you reach there's this staircase that leads up over the waterfall. There's also a ramp for wheeled vehicles that kind of winds back and forth alongside the staircase. And you get to the top of that, and a guard stops you and peers into the carriage and sees who you are and grants the cab driver permission to carry on into the Sapphire District. And not much longer, going down these cobblestone streets, you arrive at Berthold Manor.
Head on inside.
All right. Clay, Glimki, following, going back to your own quarters. What's the plan?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What is the vibe, gang? Are you wanting to, I guess, do some housekeeping, Paula? We can sneak back down to work.
I don't really know what I can say. There's rumors that I'm having rat sex and I come back looking like this 2 days later. I don't. But we'll get creative. Should I tell them I'm addicted to drugs? I might. We'll see.
Okay, well, I guess maybe it wouldn't help having the gardener there, so I'll sneak away.
I don't mind the solidarity, the moral support. I'm happy for the company. I am very grateful for what you did.
I know it helps for you, but maybe not the rest of the household. Why is the gardener here?
Well, that's a good point. We should plant some window boxes so you have more excuses to get around.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
I'll see to that.
Okay, well, you are the gardener. All right. Good night, you two.
Bye.
Yeah, only like 5 p.m. though.
Yeah, I'd say by the time you finished up, got the carriage, it's probably around 6 or so. City's big. I feel like sometimes I fail to describe it, but also I'm like, you spend a lot of time walking back and forth. How much time do we really want to spend describing the distance between districts? But I just want it on the record here, 11 episodes in. Erdening's pretty big.
Pretty big.
Fair enough.
We will note it on the record. Thank you. Your submission has been noted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, you say goodnight. You part ways. Faunalyn, you enter through the main door, and a maid that you really haven't spent much time talking with, named Betty. She is dusting in the front hall when you walk in, and she turns to look at you and says, "Hey, Lady Faunalyn, you've returned."
Yes, Betty. Hello.
Everyone was quite worried about you, ma'am. I shall inform Fallow that you have returned post haste. I'm glad you are all right.
Oh, thank you, Thank you, darling. That is so sweet. People are being so nice today. Wow.
We flash back through every interaction Faunalyn's had, and everyone's always been kind of nice.
No, just today. I'm quite sure that yesterday people were nasty and terrible, but today people are so sweet.
Do you still have the mud on your face?
I think I flaked most of it off in the car, but there's kind of a red,
the car is so barbaric.
I tried to flick most of it out the window. There might be some flakes still on the floor.
Yeah, okay.
But the Furiosa look.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm rocking.
All right, nice. Yeah, Betty doesn't say a thing about it. And sure enough, a few minutes later, Fallow, we'll say you can carry on to your room. I'm sure you wish to change. And Fallow knocks a few minutes later and walks in and says, "Do you care to explain yourself?"
Hello, Fallow. I'm sorry. I hope you weren't worried.
Oh, no, of course. Now, last time we speak, you say everybody thinks you're not a noble, and then you disappear for 2 days with your retinue of miscreants, and you come back now with what is that, mud?
It's poultice. Glimki saved my life today.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you're feeling well.
Reginald Chapstick.
Did I say Glimki? I meant Reginald Chapstick.
Right. Yes. No. We know. I know what's going on.
Oh, right.
We've gone down this road before, dear.
Yes. The TLDR of it is that I was in the sewer. I got the sewer plague, and that is nasty. And everyone was really mean to me yesterday, and I didn't have any friends except you and kind of Clay. But today I have lots of friends, and everyone is really nice. So
good.
Go figure, right?
I won't be the one to break that streak, but could you at least tell me if you're not going to be coming home for the better part of 2 days? It makes my life a lot easier.
Yes, I'm probably going to be away for a month, starting soon.
What? Why?
Got to go sailing, basically. We think the princess is on an island, so let's get tropical,
Let's get tropical.
I guess you could come. Do you want to? No, you can't come. You can't die on me. If you die on me, if you get stabbed in front of me, I swear to God, I won't recover. So you can't come.
Neither will I.
Because you're so old.
Yes. The paper bag of people.
You are. Oh my God, yes. You're like if a dust mite gained sentience.
Yes. This dust might die.
This dust might die, especially if you get stabbed. So let's avoid it.
Indeed. All right. Well, sorry I came in a little spicy, but you know how I worry about you.
Red dress fallow. Yes, you're wearing your red dress. It's red dress fallow day. It's fine.
Also, make sure Catherine doesn't see your chapstick. The azaleas are doing quite terribly.
Just here in the desert. Fuck! What the hell happened?
He's not happy about it.
It's been how many days? And the azaleas are like this? God almighty.
What is up with these azaleas? I had no idea flowers were this temperamental.
Oh, you know how it is.
I don't do labor.
Me neither.
Oh.
Well, actually, I
that's
do a
funny,
lot of
because-
labor. My whole life is labor. I haven't had a day off in God knows how long. And you won't even take me on vacation with you.
Oh, it's because you got stabbed. I'll bring you a little stab back as a souvenir.
I don't want that. I just want to go see the beach. I want a beach day.
You should see the beach. I'm going to make so much money, and I'm going to buy you an entire beach.
I'm going to sneak aboard.
I guess I can't stop. Actually, I could stop you because you're
You could stop
you're
me quite
made of
easily.
paper.
I am a skeleton that happens to have skin upon it.
Yes, you are in fact like if a leaf was also 80 years old.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we fade away to Glimki, who is freaking out in the garden. They're looking bad. They're looking real bad.
Hell,
It looks like someone was chewing on one of them. It's just not a good look.
did you even water these, man?
Woolly's not there, which is probably the problem.
What the hell? Where the hell is Wooly? It's been 2 days. It rained. It rained, and they're dead.
We fade away today. Clay, what are you doing?
It did.
I'm so curious how they died. So,
It's one of the great
We
mysteries.
get a post-mortem.
didn't you give him like your
Yeah.
paycheck so that he would just look away?
Don't remind me.
So, anything else anybody wants to do tonight?
I still have Faunalyn's wig, right?
Yeah. It's looking pretty bad.
I want to see if Clay can salvage it.
Aw.
How are you attempting to do so?
Bring it out some more from the water.
Okay.
Hang it up to dry. Fix it. Like, I don't know. Like mold it so it looks nice.
Mhm.
And add some decorations. Tie some bows into it.
Give me just what tools are you proficient with?
Let me see. Tools?
Tools.
Thieves' tools and 3 dragon anti-sets.
Okay. You're not a big
I'm
tool
proficient
person.
with these.
What are these?
Go ahead, finish the joke.
No, it's good. That's enough.
You proved your point.
What have I done to you? So Clay, I'm gonna say just give me just a raw dexterity check as you try and like put this wig back together.
Dexterity, wow.
Yeah. It's not really a strength thing, not really a wisdom thing, not really an intelligence thing, definitely not a charisma thing, definitely not a constitution thing.
I feel like Clay should have something to roll for art.
You know,
I got a 10.
I'll say with a 10, you get this thing back in maybe not pristine condition. There's some things bows can never fix, but you thread some ribbon in there, you comb it, you fluff it, and you spend the rest of the evening working on it. Glimki comes in at one point muttering about flowers angrily, just throws himself down on his
The
bed.
room smells like expensive cigarettes because I'm trying to make it smell like the good kind.
Sure. Yeah, you pilfered a couple
Smell like
cigarettes.
shit in here. This can't be good for the flowers.
And we'll say the wig is functional and looking
like,
much better.
Steaming the wig.
Yeah. You're like, you've got a bowl of water and you keep casting like little flame spells to get a nice steam going. And yeah, the wig's looking pretty good. I will say, once again, you sleep. Man, we're just blitzing through these days. Some days take 3 sessions and some days
Yeah.
go through in but 5 minutes. We will say you wake in the morning. Faunalyn, you maintain your health. You are fully cured of this sewer plague. And we'll say you take another ride. Calston Faddle, the Berthold carriage driver, gives you a lift down to Madame Fulvamond's. It is a bright, sunny day. There's some big white clouds off in the distance. Not like a storm front or anything, just like they're just hanging out. Just some big old clouds. You spend a few more hours with Madame Faunalyn, and from your professional opinion, it does not seem like the dress is finished, but around noon, she says, all right, this is all I need you for. I will return this evening with the finished product. I have some, shall we say, magic to work, but I think you shall like what we come up with. And you return to the mansion. Kelston is hung around. You get a ride back, and Fallow meets you, Clay, and Glimki, and says, all right, so I'm not sure I like you or you, but for now it seems like you're keeping Faunalyn, at least providing some additional bodies that they'll have to carve through before they get another chance to kill her, so I suppose that is valuable in and of itself. It is my understanding you are accompanying her to the ball tonight, and we can't have you smelling like sewer shit. So, if you will. And she leads you into a room with this big wash tub and says, all right, you can decide on who goes first, but scrub up and scrub good because you have to look presentable. I can smell you from here.
Can't believe we haven't bathed in 2 days.
Hey, for everything else, there's prestidigitation.
True.
So you coin flip and you each get some time in the bath. Despite her protestations, she does bring fresh water for the second person. There's like a scrubby brush and some nice soaps that she seems to have taken from upstairs, and a little bit of different potions or perfumes, things that make you smell nice, and you can style yourselves how you wish. Faunalyn, you get the 1% version of this, as Fallow leads you into this marble-floored bathroom with a clawfoot tub, and Betty and another servant start to scrub you down in this bubble bath, and you are scrubbed and you are laundered, and you are made to look your best.
Betty, be sure to get in between my toes. There's poopy betwixt them.
Lady Faunalyn, you mustn't say such vile things!
You mustn't tell me what to do.
Oh, you're right. shall turn in my resignation immediately.
No, just don't speak again today.
All right, I shall never speak again.
Today. Thank you, Betty.
You're welcome.
That's one strike.
I'm sorry.
2.
That's 2.
And she does not speak again as you are finished with your bath. About an hour before supernova, sun's starting to glow red in the sky, filtering in through the windows of Berthold Manor. There is a ring at the door. One of the servants goes and opens it, and Madame Faunalyn stands in the entryway. She is carrying multiple boxes, 4 of them to be precise. And when Faunalyn is ready, she is brought up to your chambers, and she instructs you to close your eyes as she pulls this dress onto you and zips you into it and is making some last-minute alterations. For a while, the only sound you hear is the click of the dwarven tailor quickly moving around you with the occasional "wonderful" sprinkled in. Just as you begin to grow restless and think about opening one eye to take a peek, she says, "You may open."
What do I see?
Opening your eyes, you see yourself reflected back in triplicate from a trifold mirror. The dress is spectacular. It cascades off your shoulders in waves of silver silk and pools around you in a magnificently large train. It doesn't constrict your movement, so to speak, but there's certainly no room for a crinoline either, the big dress cages, for those of you who also had to look up what it was called. You know that it's a departure from the prevailing fashion of Erdenine's elite, but you also know that it will certainly make a statement at the Prailme Ball. Faunalyn, what are you feeling right now?
I think Faunalyn's feeling trad hot. Faunalyn doesn't normally go trad hot. She thinks it's a bit gauche, but I think sometimes she's setting out to show people who they are, and I think she opens her eyes and she thinks the words, "This will show them."
And as you feel that wave of energy wash over you, you watch as the silver silk of this dress brightens and becomes a vibrant orange.
Oh la la! What trickery is this?
It is a enchantment of sorts that I have bestowed upon the dress. I have integrated the scales of a certain chameleon to the jungles to the east, and it shall more or less reflect your prevailing emotion at any given point.
Wow. Okay, what does orange mean?
Excitement.
Cool. Okay. That's
So cool.
unbelievably fabulous, darling. You have outdone not only yourself, you've outdone everybody.
Thank you. Of course. Was there any doubt?
Not so much doubt, simply that I could not conceive such wonders.
Such ones as they surprise us every day. That sounded deep, but it's only because I have this accent.
You are in fact a wonder yourself, my dear.
Also, I shall point out the train. It is detachable. I assume there will be dancing this evening, so you should be able to release that and free your feet up for the dance floor.
Excellent. I will take to the dance floor with aplomb.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, sorry.
It's annoying.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
I don't
Being
talk like
annoying.
this, or however you sound.
Pretty much like that. You could there if you wanted to.
Thank you. Anyway, I think, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with us, but overall, we're in a pretty good place now, so.
But 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that's a waltz, darling, and this train is removable.
I thought it was more of the polka.
Zapoka,
All right, goodbye. I have to dress you servant now. Goodbye.
okay, goodbye.
Madame Faunalyn meets the 2 of you down in the servants' quarters, and she's got, if you recall, she walked in with 4 boxes. She's carrying 3 of them now. One of them went to Faunalyn, if you're doing math. And she hands 1 box, 1 small one to Glimki, a larger one to Clay. As you open your respective boxes, you are presented with a full ensemble, each tailored to your vastly different dimensions. You're first greeted with a crisp white collared shirt. It's elegant in its simplicity with mother-of-pearl buttons that serve to elevate it. Beneath the shirt is a dark gray vest made of a fine, soft wool. There are several pockets on the inside, and the exterior is adorned with 3 gold buttons. Beneath that is a pair of light gray pants made of the same soft wool. They're wide at the thigh, but tapered down towards the knee. The pants match the next piece, which is a beautiful tailcoat with similar gold buttons at the cuffs and large flaps to the rear. Perfect for anyone with a tail, yet equally perfect for those without.
Nice.
Nice.
Lastly, there is a pair of pristine black leather boots that come halfway to your respective knees.
Sick.
Ooh.
As you're admiring this collection of what are undoubtedly the finest clothes either of you have ever owned, Madame Faunalyn presents the 3rd and final box. It's made of wood and longer than the rest. She opens it, revealing 2 gorgeous walking sticks.
Good.
Each of them is carved from ebony wood and adorned with a smooth silver pommel the size of an orange at the top.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Oh my god.
Wow. This is
It's
the
fabulous.
nicest thing I've ever had the pleasure of laying my hands on.
Yeah, perfect. This is Madame Faunalyn's. We do not mess around. Now, remember, you owe me a trip to Avox. I expect my silks
Yes, of course.
as soon as possible. But
Minus silks.
Mhm.
Exchange.
for tonight, enjoy yourselves. This night is not about you, but when you look this good, you may as well pretend, right?
Yeah.
And she gives a bow, and she departs from the house into the evening air. Is there anything anybody wishes to do? Any last minute plan making? Any last minute scheming, snorting, supposing?
I think Glimki would also let Clay know about the bag of black leaf.
Oh.
Just say that we're all on the same page. I went back to Luzanne's to get the medicine for Faunalyn, but I also snagged a bag of black leaf. Now I don't know what we're gonna use it for, but I just remembered earlier when we talked about Bip having some sort of habit with this, so I just figured if there's anything that we could have in our back pocket if we run into one of those guys, maybe we can play this hand. But until then, I just want everyone to know that we have it in our back pocket.
Okay, whoa, yeah, that's a lot. That stuff's potent. Guys, be careful with that.
I don't know, should we split it up so that everyone has access to it? Like, just in case any one of us gets cornered in, like, I don't know, this is a fancy party. People do stuff at parties, or so I've heard. I don't know. So, maybe we split it up.
Into like 3 doses?
Yeah, that way everyone can play this hand if they get cornered. Or, I don't know, we could use it for a multitude of things, whatever comes to mind.
I don't know if Faunalyn is here. She's on board.
I will say, for the purposes of convenience scheming, why don't we move this conversation into the carriage?
Sure.
And you can, as you wind down the streets, you can all converse. You step outside and see your carriage is ready for you. Colston Fatafettle, the gnomish driver, is standing next to it. And as you approach, he opens the carriage door and offers a hand to Faunalyn and Clay. A courtesy that is not extended to Glimki. Each of you enters the carriage and the door closes behind you. A moment later, you hear a familiar "Yeah!" and the carriage begins to move. As you know, House Prailme is situated in the Ruby District, the most elite part of Erdenine, save for the Diamond District, where the royal family resides. You pass through the wide streets of the Sapphire District and cross a beautiful ornate bridge into the Ruby District. Faunalyn, as you look out the window, you see a tower comprised of hundreds of stone blocks, covered in all manner of greenery. You watch as one of the blocks appears to detach itself from the tower, only to slowly drift down and reattach itself about halfway down.
I hate that place.
The Drifting Terraces. A place that wasn't the beginning of your story, but certainly was the beginning of this specific chapter of it. You can't help but feel a stab of fear as you think back to what happened the last time you were here. And Clay and Glimki, you notice as Faunalyn's dress shifts to black. As you continue on through the streets, scheme away.
Okay.
Clay, you were saying about drugs.
Yeah, I guess we could split it up. I don't know what we're going to use it for, but,
It may just be good that everyone has the option. I don't know what the plan is once we're in there, but I think when we talked about this a few days ago, we were talking about how everyone is kind of trying to get an ear to the ground. We're going to talk among the help because they're probably full of information, and Faunalyn will have to work the floor herself. So if everyone's kind of split up, maybe we all, depending on how things play out, can have this as an option. So let's carefully split it up. Nobody touch your face, eyes, nose, or mouth, or eyes, ears, any orifices. I don't know how this works.
Cool. Where's our rat friend?
He comes crawling out of your dress.
As you say that, Jimmy comes crawling out from under your dress. He's got a little blindfold around his rat eyes and says, did somebody ring for Jimmy Gnawbones? That's right, I've been here the whole time. Good catch. You thought you could escape me? I snuck up there when you were busy freaking out about some dress. Anyway, we're doing Blackleaf, is that what I heard?
Not you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing Blackleaf. Does anyone have a credit card?
Weirdly racially charged the way you said it just now. But all right, it's not for my kind. I get it.
Don't be a mooch.
Oh, okay. Now I'm a mooch.
Or a narc.
Hey, you can call me a lot of things, but I ain't no. Well, I guess I'm a professional narc, so to speak. Anyway.
So yes, I'd like to split it into 3. So everyone take note.
But maybe 4? Maybe 4.
Nope.
Just in case I need to do some for fun?
No, because you're a rat. If you get into a corner, be a rat and leave.
All right. And he scurries back down, and you feel him crawl up your leg, Faunalyn.
Why couldn't you both wear skirts? Why did you two have to be princesses tonight? Glimki bought drugs and gave us drugs.
Oh, Glimki, do you still have your appendix by any chance? Like, how did you get all these drugs?
Oh, I paid for it.
Oh, that must have been steep.
To be honest, the appendix wouldn't cover it, so I had to shell out gold pieces for it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll get it back.
Yes. And now we know what you do with the boon, is buy drugs.
No.
Legalize it, shouts Jimmy
Yeah.
Gnawbones.
Here, here.
Keep your eyes closed.
Here, here. Your journey continues on as you pass mansion after mansion, each more expensive than the last, until the light of the moons above fades away, and you find yourself ensconced by a thick canopy of trees. It would be dark, were it not for the abundant number of fireflies that swirl around the carriage, illuminating your path. From the darkness, you hear the distant hoot of an owl. At least, you think it's an owl. A few minutes later, you arrive at your destination. Colston draws the carriage to a halt, and you look out to see the palatial manor of House Pralmy. The carriage is parked at the edge of an immense courtyard, lined with marble statues of dancing satyrs, punctuated by a tremendous gilded fountain at the center, depicting a trio of dryads wreathed in purple roses. Drift globes, little floating balls of light, hover throughout the courtyard, illuminating it. And at the end of the courtyard is a pair of staircases that curve up towards the mansion's main door. A pair of marble owlbears, carved to scale, stand guard at the base. The mansion stands above it, and you see it's divided into 3 portions. The central portion of the mansion is 3 stories tall, lined with windows emanating a warm light. They are breathtaking in their size and number. You see a vast balcony spans the exterior of the second floor, and beneath it is a 9-foot-tall double door carved from cedar, resembling a tangled mass of vines. There are 2 wings to the mansion, each 2 stories tall, also lined with windows and several balconies. Clusters of ivy creep up the walls at various points, balancing out the white stone that much of the house is comprised of. You see the center of the mansion, the main hall. The third and final floor is made almost entirely of glass. You see the moonlight hits it and diffuses out quite beautifully. Colston opens the door and once again extends a hand to Faunalyn.
Right this way, ma'am. I'll be here when you're ready to depart.
Thank you.
As Clay and Glimki step out to join you in the courtyard. Looking up at House Pralmy and all the secrets it holds, Colston pulls away in the carriage, leaving you to whatever comes next.
Okay, everybody. Game time. And I bid you both a most pleasant evening.
Am I not following Lady Faunalyn around, or I guess there's I don't know how balls work.
Faunalyn would know, and we can say Faunalyn would have passed this information along. It is custom practice for nobility to bring servants to various balls, but it is not common practice for said servants to be a mainstay of the proceedings. What is most common is they will bring their servants, who are then brought to a separate portion of wherever this event is taking place, perhaps the kitchen, perhaps a separate ballroom if it's a sufficiently large house. And should the employer need something, then they will wave down one of the host's staff and ask them to summon their staff, their servants.
Okay.
So you don't see anybody outside. You think you can probably just proceed to the front door and then you'll be brought to where you're each expected to be at that point.
Then I rescind my statement, and I will wish you a pleasant evening as soon as we're in through the doors. Shall we?
After you.
Oh, thank you. Faunalyn will dignify to walk through the front doors.
Okay. What is your prevailing emotion as you venture towards the mansion?
A little bit of apprehension, a little bit of excitement, and mostly resolution.
You see your dress flickers between orange and black. At times there's hints of yellow before it kind of settles down to this neutral sort of green.
Interesting.
The 3 of you walk amongst the marble satyrs, past the gilded fountains and curved owlbears, and climb the curved staircase up to the mansion's doorway. Before you have a chance to knock, however, the door swings open, and an Aarakocra, a bird person, in a pristine servant's uniform stands before you. He has brown feathers that are slicked down and a cluster of long whiskers protruding from either side of his red beak.
Lady Faunalyn, welcome to Prima Manor. Please come in.
Much obliged.
He steps to the side, revealing a carpeted landing, connected via a set of marble stairs to a pristine reception hall. A quartet of four genasi, earth, wind, fire, and air, are playing stringed instruments in the corner, as a handful of guests mingle amongst marble pillars and servants silently flit about, offering flutes of champagne and hors d'oeuvres. As you're taking it all in, the Aarakocra clears its throat and announces in his rasped voice,
Presenting the lady, Faunalyn Vaydark of Ulithothiat.
The crowd of partygoers stop their conversing at once to look at you. Looking out amongst the crowd, you recognize many of them. A few offer polite nods of recognition towards you. You see Lord Bickford Prailme. You see a pair that you recognize as Lady Isle Crawwin and Lord Ulrun Rothbard, who, oddly enough, Glimki and Clay, you think you too also might recognize from your first trip through the Sapphire District when you asked for directions. You also see Prince Elling Malfirth, who looks up at you with his head cocked slightly to the side. And as you're standing there taking it all in, one of the attendees, a woman with jet black hair and pale skin and 3 moles on her cheek, quickly ends her conversation and hurries over to greet you. She's dressed in emerald from head to toe, and she wears an ornate silver ring on the pinky finger of her left hand. In her right, she carries a folding fan. You recognize her from your brief introduction at the humiliation ball as Lady Bakra Prailme.
Oh, Lady Faunalyn, it's so wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for coming, dear.
Lady Prailme, I was so gratified to receive an invitation. It is such a delight to attend such a beautiful home and to engage in revelry with such purportedly wonderful company.
The rumors are not what they appear. We're a group of miscreants and troublemakers, a lot of us.
Oh, well, then I'll fit right in. Excellent.
The Aarakocra steps forward and puts a winged arm around each of you, Clay and Glimki, and says,
If you'll follow me, I will take you to the servants' quarters where you may spend the remainder of the ball.
And he leads you down the staircase out through this. You notice that this main hall, there are many doors leading out of it from every which direction, and he takes you to this nondescript little door. It's painted the same color as the walls, just this inauspicious white, and he leads you down this hallway and out of sight. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, in the reception hall, Lady Bakra Prailme says, Now, Lady Faunalyn, before I forget, this is for you. And she hands you the fan that she is holding, and we'll say you furl it open, and you see it is divided into 5 sections. There's like these lines demarking it into 5 discrete sections. She says, This will also serve as your dance card for the evening, so be sure to fill it out before the dancing begins.
How charming! I had heard. Well, Lady Prailme, you aren't going to walk away with my dance card empty. Surely you've got to put yourself down for one dance.
I would be quite honored. Are you sure you wish to ask the first person you encounter this evening, though?
Oh, the first person I encounter is none other than Lady Bakra Prailme. I don't think I can do much better.
You do me a great honor. Thank you. I would be honored.
And you would do me a great honor by signing my card. How about the first dance of the evening?
Sounds perfect.
Well, I cannot believe you have not yet been accounted for, but I shall await the first dance eagerly.
I think you'll find I'm very selective with my company.
I'm rather selective with mine.
Then we'll make a good pair.
Couldn't agree more, darling.
Now, please, come with me. Let me introduce you to some of the fellow miscreants who are rounding out this evening.
Yes, let's meet the deviants.
She brings you over to this pair. You recognize one of them. It is Xerxes Humiliation. Xerxes is wearing a gray suit. He's got a red vest. And he steps forward and offers a polite bow and says, Lady Faunalyn, it is so good to see you again. I'm so glad you were able to attend, and might I say your dress looks quite lovely.
Lord Humiliation, it is always a pleasure.
Of course. He reaches forward for your hand, and do you proffer it?
But of course, I'm being polite tonight.
He leans forward and gives it a delicate kiss, and you smell a bit of brimstone waft off of him as he does so. And he takes a step back and turns towards the person he was speaking with previously, who is a Goliath man. You see that he has this pale, sort of cream-colored skin with these lines that run from his temple down towards his jaw, and this crown of lithoderms, which are these bony protrusions that many Goliaths have. He has 8 of them that wrap around his bald head. He has these piercing, bright blue eyes, and he's dressed in this thick fur cloak with just black pants, and everything is just all black, everything. And he takes a step forward and offers a pretty deep bow and says,
Lady Faunalyn Vaydark, it is an honor to make your acquaintance. I am Count Telendir Vromp.
Count Telendir, have I heard this name?
You have not.
What an honor it is to make your acquaintance as well. I suspect you have traveled a long way to be here.
Indeed, I have. I hail from Tarn of the Clouds in the Atum Mountains.
Incredible. I should one day like to visit your esteemed home. I've heard many powerful things.
Indeed. It is not perhaps the best time to visit, but if you ever wish to join me, I would be honored to show you the sights, so to speak.
Nice. Cool. That sounds grand. And likewise, if you should ever visit Uleth Orthiad, look me up.
I have oft been fascinated by the long lifespan of your kin. Might I ask how old you are?
Oh, how old do I look?
Well, that is the thing. Your kind does not age naturally. It is a perversion of nature that I find most fascinating.
Ah!
To me, you look to be no more than perhaps 25.
Oh.
Yet, I imagine you to be perhaps centuries older than that.
Well, stop imagining it, because I don't want you to get worked up. But if you want to witness more perversions of nature up close, there's plenty of peeping to be done in Uleth Orthiad. You can nestle in the trees and look down and watch all the old people who look young. You'll love it.
That sounds
titillating, right?
disturbing.
Yes.
So are you like 100, 200,
Ooh, lower.
150?
You're somewhere around there. Yeah. Can I guess how old you are?
It is only fair, I suppose.
65.
Younger.
45.
Younger.
15?
31.
Ah.
As of last month.
Happy belated, everybody! We've got a birthday here!
The band in the corner starts playing Happy birthday from all of us to you. We hope you have a birthday. Da, 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 da. And they also forget the lyrics halfway through and then do with a big plunk of the strings. And everything goes back to austere string music.
Okay, well, lovely speaking with you. I have to go thank the prince who recently saved my life.
Of course.
Why don't you sign my dance card?
Found this thing out fast.
This guy? This guy? You want to dance with this guy?
You know what? You're so right. I would like to request a redaction. Can we pretend I never asked?
Granted.
In front of Xerxes as well.
I was being polite, but that's actually such a valid point.
I will point out you only get 5, and you've asked the first 2 people you've spoken with.
Okay, so I didn't know I only got 5.
That's why I said there was 5 slots.
I'm obviously gonna ask Bakra Prailme. We're here to talk to the Prailmes.
That one makes sense.
That was
one
good.
Makes sense
Thank
right out of
you.
the gate.
Okay, you're actually so... Why am I talking to this guy? We have limited airtime. Okay, lovely to meet you. I have to go speak to the prince. Excuse me.
Of course. We shall converse later.
Perhaps. Yes, we can guess how old everyone is.
Yes. Did you say 150?
Around there. Okay, bye!
I will say, as you step away, you look around the room, and do you want to give me a perception roll as you kind of take it all in?
Of course. But of course, I will do this. That's a natural one.
For a total?
4.
Woof. With a 4.
Thank you.
You see...
Wait! 5.
Okay, you see everything now.
Thank you.
You look around, and you see the aforementioned Ulrin Rothbard and Isle Crawwin. They got flirty body language. I'd say even with a 5, like, anyone can notice that. Like, she kind of puts her hand on his shoulder and is laughing at something he's saying. You look past them, and you see a halfling woman. She has rosy cheeks and a gray-blue wig and eyeshadow to match. And she is talking to a human man. He's young and quite possibly the hottest man to ever live. He has this chiseled jaw. He's got a buzzed head. He is just cut from marble. And more perhaps noticeable to you is he is perhaps the best dressed person here as well. He has these linen pantaloons and an olive tailcoat and a crisp black top hat. However, the look is undercut by the fact that the sleeves of his jacket have been torn off, exposing just these muscular arms that he's kind of waving around emphatically as he's talking to this halfling woman. You look past them and you see Prince Elling Malfirth and the last member of the Prailme 2 Bickford Prailme, Bip himself.
Excellent. I'm going to walk past the arguing couple, but keep an ear open as not the arguing couple, the guy who's gesturing emphatically, the halfling woman and the hot guy. I'm going to walk past, but I'm going to keep my ears open as I go.
As you are walking past, he leans against this pillar and says, "A lot of people think that an owl bears a bear's body with an owl's head, but I was thinking that maybe it was an owl's head with a bear's body."
This is fascinating. Please tell me more.
Not sticking around. This one's not for me.
And you walk past, and as you are halfway across the room, approaching the prince and the Lord Prailme, the Aarakocra at the entryway clears his throat once more and says,
"Now presenting the debutante, Claudine and her companion, Lorraine Tonas."
And you look towards the door and you see Claudine is there. She's wearing this modest violet dress and she's got white gloves and a tiara on. She looks a little nervous maybe, and she is standing next to this older woman, her chaperone Lorraine, who's wearing this brown wool dress with a white linen wimple, the sort of, head covering of a medieval era. And they begin to make their way down the stairs, and you see Claudine kind of gives a little half wave to the people as she does so, and Lorraine follows closely behind with just this permanent scowl carved into her face. And we will cut over to the servants' wing, where Clay and Glimki, you are led into this hallway where you are passed off onto another servant who's dressed in... You notice that all the staff here are wearing like matching black tuxedos. Essentially, they all look very uniform in their uniforms. And you are led through the mansion into this, what you'll eventually discover is the servants' wing of the building. One of these two side wings of the mansion is for the staff, and you are taken here. You are led down this hallway and past this bustling kitchen. You hear just the sound of a chef barking out orders, and you smell various spices mingling in the air. You hear the cawing of birds, which Glimki, given your recent experience, you are pretty sure they are crows. And you continue past them to the end of this hallway. You turn left and you're brought up a set of stairs and then down another hallway and through just this tangled web. It's a large place. You're quickly gathering that this one wing is probably the size of the entire Berthold Manor.
Oh my gosh.
You are brought to what appears to be some sort of servant's lounge. You see that there are various couches and chairs and odd bits of furniture shoved together to break up the space into little quadrants. And you see that there are quite a few people just sitting around in various states of conversation. You see a human man in khakis and a tank top. You see a female halfling who's wearing a floral romper. You see a half-orc man with an ill-fitting suit. The sleeves are just a little too short. They end about halfway down his forearms. You see a slender gnome. He's wearing a turtleneck and plaid pants. His nails are painted. You see a few others. There's this tall, skinny human man with a stooped back, and a goblin, of all people, with these long, pointy ears and this green skin. And you see that one of the ears is heavily pierced, just like all sorts of hoops kind of wrapping around the outer edge of it. And the servant says, you are welcome to stay here throughout the duration of the ball. If you are required by your employer, then one of our staff here at Prima Manor will send for you.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for showing us. Do we get, is there snacks?
There are refreshments that shall be brought up once the dinner portion of the evening has begun for the guests.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll just linger here.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Come on, Clay. Or, Flora.
All right.
I guess we should start networking.
Yeah. Does anyone look interesting?
I would argue they all look interesting, but I know you weren't asking me.
Yeah. And does anyone look interested in us?
That's a good question.
There's like a polite...
Even though we're like stunting right now? How do we compare to these guys?
Yeah, one guy's in a tank
I would say
top.
you are in the upper echelon. The only person who looks maybe more well put together is the other gnome. He is manicured in the truest sense of the word. Like, he just looks pristine.
Okay, chins to the sky, noses up, be snobby, shake some hands.
Okay. Are we splitting up? Just go mingle?
Yeah, just go mingle.
Okay.
Unless you want to stay together, we can totally stay together.
Okay, let's do that.
These kinds of things make me nervous, so alright.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll just, I guess, find an empty spot near someone else and introduce ourselves. I will be walking exaggeratedly with my cane, twirling it about like Jim Wilder.
Perfect. Who intrigue you?
I guess the other fancy man would be interesting to go first, because there would be an icebreaker there.
Sure. He is sitting on a stool. He has a nail file out and is just casually filing his nails.
How much does a polar bear weigh?
Excuse me?
Enough to segue into how we're the only fancy dressed people. So, who do you work for?
Oh, you're funny. I like you. I work for Asful of Craft Sticks.
Assful of crab sticks?
Asful of crab sticks?
Yes, Earl Asful of Craft Sticks. Have you heard of him?
Earl Asful of crab sticks.
Yes. I can tell by your expression that you haven't heard of him. He's, well, if you happen to make it out onto the floor, he's wearing this beautiful olive jacket that I picked out for him. He looks just like the whole package tonight.
Wow. Okay, you've been working for Asphalt Acoustics long?
Yeah, I mean, about 3 years now. He's
oh, nice.
A bit of a lost cause when I met him, but we've turned him into something quite stylish. I must say, my name is Cilantro. I'm his stylist, and he offers a hand towards you.
I take it.
He shakes it firmly, and he smells strongly of soap.
So, Cilantro, you're the stylist.
Yes.
Maybe you could take a guess at who we're wearing tonight. It's a local.
See. Don't help me. Wool vest, gold buttons, mother of pearl, nice touch. This just reeks of Arlette.
I look at Clay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually so good.
Thank you. This is my profession, so I should know these things.
Oh, well, you picked the right field. Scoot over a little bit. I'm trying to sit down.
She's on a stool, but give me a persuasion roll. Persuasion roll.
These two gnomes sharing a stool.
Oh, God, 5.
You might crease my pants. So why don't you just grab a seat on that couch over there, or perhaps that chair? Lots of spaces. Don't need to share a stool.
Cilantro, you expect me to sit next to those ones? They're not even wearing designer.
Ugh, fine. And he slides over, like, barely.
Just enough to lean on, I guess.
Yeah, it's like half the butt is on the stool.
Yes. Okay, Cilantro, so have you been to some of these things before?
Oh, a few. We're not from around here, so not much for the local party scene, but Asphalt does all right.
Okay, well, that's good. I'll be honest, this is my first time at an event in Erdenine, so I'm trying to get to know the lay of the land, people to whom which I should be rubbing shoulders. Clearly, I've chosen correctly with the first one, but if you wouldn't mind pointing me in the direction of the unsavories and the savories.
Right. So obviously I'm sweet as can be, so not quite savory, but should do in a pinch. Let's see. Over there's Xander Lorm. He's the gardener for the Prailmies. That's Benin Whale Fruit. She's the master of horse, I think. So that's kind of cool if you like horses. I'm not quite my thing, but whatever. That's Chunks. I think you can tell from the sleeves. You don't need to spend much time with him.
And what does Chunks do?
Oh, I think he's the carriage driver for Humiliations. Let's see. That is Husni Teringit, I think. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. I think he works for the Poolars. That's Galt, the little goblin over there. Definitely unsavory. And let's see.
Anybody else from House Humiliation or the Prailmies around?
I mean, the whole house is full of Prailmy staff, obviously, but I think those are the only two hanging out here right now. They are Gardener and Master of Horse, not exactly crucial for a successful party.
Right.
And I think Humiliation just got his ride here with Chunks, and I don't think he brought anyone else.
Interesting. Okay, well, I could spend my night speaking with sweet stuff here, but I guess I should also Meikle a bit. I guess we didn't introduce ourselves either. Sorry, I'm Reginald Chapstick, and this is my associate, Flora Fauna. We represent House Vaydark. I'm sure you've heard of her.
Of course.
Okay. Good. Good. Alright, I guess I'll go talk to somebody else.
Okay. So as you wander over to start a new conversation, we'll cut back to the ball. Faunalyn, yeah, you have crossed the floor and have approached Bickford and Elling. And the prince is, well, we'll start with Bickford. He is wearing a emerald 3-piece suit that is the same color as his sister's. He has a dress shirt underneath with the top button undone. He's not wearing a tie. And Elling Malfirth is wearing a red jacket with these gold ornaments, or adornments perhaps is a better word, that look like golden feathers. He has these pointy shoes, a gem-encrusted sword at his hip, and he's wearing a golden coronet that looks vaguely like a crown of flames.
Sick as hell. Would you describe him as big?
Like, he's over 6 feet tall. He looks like he's in good shape. He's not like chunky, bulky. He's pretty lean even.
But like, could someone conceivably call him a big bastard?
Size is relative, but you feel like that wouldn't be the words that came to mind if it was you describing him.
Interesting.
And as you walk up, he says, Lady Faunalyn, it is quite good to see you again. I see you have recovered from your previous injuries.
Yes, all thanks to you, Prince Malforth. I am, as ever, so grateful that you saved me from those ruffians those nights. Lord Prailme, we've not had the pleasure. Well, we have had the pleasure, but only briefly. Lady Faunalyn Vaydark, had you forgotten? You may not know the whole story, but the prince here quite saved my life some nights ago.
Oh, it is no big deal. I merely ran those two ruffians in, and he draws his sword and points it up at the sky. There's this crystal chandelier that is up. You notice that as you're looking around, this room is 2 stories tall, and there's a balcony wrapping around the 2nd floor. And he points his sword up at the sky, and the light from the chandelier reflects off of the hilt of the sword. I only did what any good prince would do, and I would do it again.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Hip hip hooray!
Hip hip hooray! Lady
Who did he
Faunalyn,
do?
It is... Who did he do?
You will repeat anything I say. That's fine.
It is...
Humperdinck!
Humperdinck! It is good to see you, Lady...
Hullabaloo!
Hullabaloo!
Sorry, you were saying.
It is good to see you in such fine spirits. I heard what happened to you at the Drifting Terraces. It is most terrible.
Is this Bickford speaking?
It is.
Well, parties always help with spirits. I'm so delighted to be attending this one with such, I hear, debauched company, and yet I've seen no evidence of it whatsoever. Everyone's being very polite. I must say I'm most disappointed.
I'm sure we can do something to change your opinion. And he snaps his fingers at a servant who's passing by with a champagne tray. And as the servant begins to approach you, you hear a voice from behind you say, There's no need for that. No need to trouble the help. And you turn around and see this middle-aged human man. He's got pale skin and his lip is curled into a bit of a snarl. He is holding 2 wine glasses. And as you come face to face with Lord Hamlet Pilton, he says, Lady Vaydark, so good to see you again. Care for a drink?
Faunalyn's dress immediately turns black.
And that's where we'll end tonight's episode of Bard Soup.
Oh, I'm so done for. I'm so totally done for, gang. I'm done for.
Who's that?
Don't worry. Nobody.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Haha, just kidding. Thanks for sticking around and listening to this entire episode of Bard Soup. As usual, I am your Dungeon Master, Zach Meikle, joined by the illustrious Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, the illuminated Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow, and the illusory Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark. We would really appreciate it if you could give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or just tell a friend. Meanwhile, you can follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok at bard_soup, and we'll be back in 1 week with a special 3-part series, so stay tuned. Bye!
Oh, question. The Sycophant 5 or whatever, the superhero squad.
The League of Icar.
Yes, the League of... I'm going to start this question over so that it's easy for you to edit.
Thank you.
Question.
Answer.
The League of Icar.
Daily double.
Oh.
One more time.
Why?
This one clean. We'll get this one clean.
Okay, I have a question. Urgent question.
Yes, of course, yes, please, by all means. Answer. Ask
For
quickly.
you, Zachary.
Oh, okay,
It's
sure.
Meikle.
Oh my god.